Now welcome to another rewatch re-review of Andor Season 1. This time it is Episode 7, Announcement. And let's kick it on over to Naboo.
Okay, this is a slower episode. This is more of an aftermath type episode, where we see where all of our characters are doing after what happened in Aldhani. The ISB comes forth with their wonderful speech, believing that they are prepared for this, that they're going to increase taxes on anyone found harboring anyone from Aldhani who could have been involved, that they're going to have permanent revocation of local festivals if you resist, and all of these things that they're just tacking on, reworking and reevaluating prison sentences, upping sentencing in general. Everything is getting cracked down 100%.
Yeah, the clamps are being put on, which is what Luthen wanted.
Which is interesting because Dedra even says that we're playing right into the rebel hands. She can see the pieces. She realizes that the tighter they make the grip, the more systems will slip through your fingers.
Yes.
Then Mon goes to visit Luthen because she needs to know, were you involved in this? And he's like, no, I wish it was me.
Still not as good as the Luthen and Saw exchange. When
and she goes, no, I don't believe you. You've been needing money. This big money heist happened. She's like, this has your hand in it. And she knew. And she's worried about people suffering. And Luthen says, but that's the point.
Yeah, well, that is the point.
He understands. He understands this is how you make things happen. It just feels dirty. And I can understand her point of view. She's been fighting in the Senate cleanly for a long time.
Yeah.
And now she's in the point where she's going above and beyond, you could say. But she doesn't want these underhanded means.
No, well, it's kind of like the whole problem of it's the proverbial frog in a pot of boiling water, where when they're in there, they don't realize it's starting to boil, which frogs are going to jump out of a pot of boiling water, but that's not the point. The point is you don't realize how, when it happens slowly, you don't realize that your rights are being taken away until it's much too late. And Luthen's trying to accelerate the process so that it happens quickly and causes a bit of shock to the system.
Which is exactly what's happening. One thing I really want to know, I wrote this down as a side note, I want to know how Luthen and Mon met. What brought them together? How did this come about? Do you think we'll see this in any of the parts of the Rise of the Empire books?
Well, we do know that Val is the niece of Mon Mothma, right? And that she knows Luthen. She seems to be kind of working directly for Luthen. Do we think that's where it comes from? Because I agree, we'll probably see it in the Reign of the Empire books. That kind of makes sense. I don't know.
But I would really like to know how that came about. It seems very interesting because they have such different means to an end.
Yes, they are kind of opposites. They're on the same side, but they see the way forward is very different for them.
Then we find that Syril has a new job. But at the same time, even though Uncle Harlow opened these doors for him, he is still obsessing over Andor and clearing his name. Because he believes he did the right thing and he shouldn't be punished for this. This shouldn't be on my record. I will expunge this. We
have discussed before that he is in the right. He was the only one who wanted to find a murderer.
But what's interesting is the interviewer, you could say, said, oh, we'll just edit this.
Yeah.
This is how we fix things because of his connections to the mysterious Uncle Harlow.
Yep, good old Uncle Harlow.
But that's not enough for Syril.
Well, I mean, he still wants his name cleared because he doesn't feel like he did anything wrong.
They're fixing that.
Well, yes and no. You know what I mean? He wants to be completely...
He wants to be told
really you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. It's just a very interesting exchange.
Yeah, and here he is at a fun job. Talk about cubicles.
Ooh. Then we see Clea and Vel meeting up to discuss the job, to kind of scold Vel for coming here, for putting them at risk by connecting herself to Luthen. And she gets told that her new mission is to find and kill Cassian to cover their tracks.
Good luck finding him.
Good luck. He's running. Well,
he's not running far.
He was a little more traceable before, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Then we see Cassian. He went home. He went home to Marva. He wants to take them and he wants to leave. Marva's like, hey, the imps have moved in to stay. Cassian goes, no, you, me, B, let's go. Let's get out of here. And she goes, yeah, let me sleep on it.
Yeah, we'll go in the morning.
We'll go in the morning.
Need a nap, yeah.
Then we get invited to one of Mon's famous parties.
Hey, that's quite a party.
Very fancy, very fancy.
Yeah.
Mon gets to talk to Tate, her old banker buddy, her oldest friend, who you can kind of tell parents keeping his eye on her.
Well, yeah.
A little bit of jealousy, perhaps.
Yeah, they probably were a thing back in the day, yeah.
And Mon confides the truth after finding out that he is hinting that he is upset with the Empire.
Such a
My politics might be too spicy for you, Mon. And She goes,
You don't know.
hold my beer. Or hold my Chandrillan wine, shall we
Yes.
say.
No, that's a great conversation because it
I
kind of
love
starts
it.
out as him like, I know you're the good girl, you follow the Imperial
Mhm.
rules, you would never step out of line, so you may be surprised to learn that I don't exactly agree with the Empire. And she's like, as you said, hold my fancy wine because I am not what you think I am, and I
I
need your help.
Yeah, I love their conversation. I love that she constantly repeats to him, smile,
Yes.
because you need to keep covering this. You can't look like we're talking about anything too serious. Smile, dear, smile.
Yeah, keep smiling.
I actually
No,
love
that's great.
over and over her just saying, smile.
I've joked before, but if you would have told me years ago when I was a kid and loving Return of the Jedi and seeing Mon Mothma in that movie, the woman who talks about the Death Star plans, and you were like, many years from now, you're gonna watch a show about her, and she's gonna be at a party talking to an old boyfriend, and you're gonna love that scene more than you can possibly imagine. I would have been like, I hope you're wrong because that sounds like a horrible future.
Like, really? The girl with the pixie cut there?
Yeah, Mon Mothma, the Bothan lady, really?
Yeah, the Bothans?
Yeah.
Alright, we go back to Ferrix then, and Cassian calls on Bix. She tells him straight up he can't stay because the people will rat him out. They will turn him in because of what he brought to Ferrix. Him going off and killing a couple of the corpos, coming back home, raising more hell. Now the Empire has moved in. And they will turn on him, is what she says.
Yeah, you can see their point. Even though they are a tight-knit community, you've kind of put the community at risk, and thus you are cast out.
And then you can tell Cassian kind of knows a little bit where he stands with Luthen, because he wants to know more about Luthen. Bix doesn't know anything, and he's like, hey, if you talk to him again, tell him to forget about me. I took what was owed, and I'm in the wind.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me anymore. Because, like, he must have a feeling.
He's got to have a feeling. He's not stupid. Yeah.
He's not stupid. No, he knows what his role would be. He pays his debts, he leaves. We find the flashback of seeing his adoptive father, Marva's husband, Clem, gunned down by the newly formed Empire when he tried to stop some dissent that was in the crowd, which was sad. Well, yeah, he wasn't involved. He wasn't doing anything wrong.
No, he was trying to stop them from getting themselves killed, and he ends up getting himself killed.
Mm-hmm.
Right in front of his son.
Then the next morning, Marva tells him, I'm not leaving. Marva wants Ferrix to rebel. She's been fed up since Clem was hung in Rick's Road. She was inspired by the Aldhani heist,
That's
not
so
knowing Cassian was there, he was involved. She tries to get him to understand why she can't leave, why she can't go with him, why she has to stay. Cassian tells her he doesn't understand her choice. Then she tells him to let go of this guilt he feels over Kenari, over his sister, and his last words to her are that he would be back.
And he will be, but after she's gone.
I just felt it was extra hard-hitting to know what happens, what's coming down the road here, and that we know he'll be back and it'll be too late. That his last words to his mother are that he'll be back. That he doesn't understand her choices. It's
just so, again, ironic that he does this job because he wants to save Marva. He wants to save his mother, essentially. And him doing that job to save her is what solidifies her faith in this new rebellion and
her reasons to stay.
Her reason to stay, yeah.
Then we're into the ISB where Blevin tries to get Dedra in trouble because she's looking at my sectors again. She didn't ask permission. And she's like, well, I used the new laws we put into place because of this whole Empire against the rebellion-y thing.
Yep.
Got all this data. And she gets praised for her ingenuity, for her taking the initiative, for her looking and digging deeper, which is what they are supposed to be doing. They're the ISB. Ignore the sector lines because the rebels aren't watching the sector lines.
It's so funny that they're arguing about, well, my sector does. Well, they don't see sectors. They're not playing within your boundaries.
But Dedra is also warned to watch her back. She painted a target on herself.
Yeah, definitely.
And the last thing we get is Cassian moved to Neamos.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of vacationing there.
Yeah, to get a lady of the night and possibly
we don't know that. Come on now.
She was asking him to go pick up the greenies or whatever, which I think are code for some drugs that they are both on.
Probably.
Drugs or alcohol, something. He's living the life now as Keith, who happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Apparently there were some dissenters. They went running past him. Cassian gets nervous because he's already got kind of some reasons to be nervous from the Aldhani heist as well as his previous activities.
Yeah, he's got a list now.
He's got a list. So he's looking nervous. He gets stopped. Wrong place, wrong time. They convict him of a crime he actually didn't commit, though he committed a far worse one.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets 6 years.
6 years for being in the wrong place at the wrong time and
Yeah, not
doing
even
nothing.
given a chance to explain himself or even prove anything. He doesn't even understand until he's read the charges what they're pulling him in for.
Well, whoever was before him got like 4 months for their dog pooping on the sidewalk, essentially.
Yeah, because the rules changed because of what they
Yeah.
did at Altani.
Yeah, he brought that on
Sentences
himself
were
in this weird sort of way.
reevaluated.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how much he indirectly pays the price for what he did on Alhani.
What else I find interesting, and the last thing I want to say on that is, when we know what happens in the prison. If obviously you've seen this before, if you're watching our
Yeah.
rewatch review, in the fact that nobody gets out of the prison anymore, they just get moved to a different floor, and their sentence continues.
I think it's a different facility, but yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Different floor, different facility. They're still here.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because I wonder if that's because of the fact that the Empire's like, well, if we start letting people go, remember they're going to reevaluate all prison sentences too, and if we start letting people go, are they going to join this fledgling rebellion? Are they going to be angry with us? So maybe that's part of the reason they don't want to let anyone go.
Probably, yeah.
Or possibly because there's some secretive nature about what they were building.
Well, I think it's both.
Yeah, I find it very interesting because you notice things obviously when you rewatch something
Well, yeah.
you didn't
You
think
know where
about
it's going.
before.
Yeah. All right, well, that is going to be all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you thought of the 7th episode of Andor, and let's talk some Star Wars. And so until next time, thanks for watching.